Good morning. Welcome back to another Market Open live stream. So let's take a look at what the heck is going on in the market today. Today we are seeing sort of another start to a red day. It's certainly not as aggressive as what we had yesterday. Yesterday we were closer to 0.75% down on the indices right at the open. Right now we are down about 0.25% on the Dow, down about almost 0.2% on the S&P, and NASDAQ futures down about 0.14%. Let's take a look at some individual stocks, and then, of course, we'll look at headline news. We'll see what's going on. But after Arcimoto's 21% fall yesterday, it looks like we got a little bit of a recovery here, coming back slightly here with a 6.2% recovery. Nice. Excuse me, there we go. We've got the cannabis ETF actually up 5.36 today, which sometimes you get these odd pre-market and post-market movements in the cannabis ETF, so I'm not going to get super excited that there's a cannabis catalyst here. We've had this a lot of hope that there would be a cannabis shift with the Biden administration, and I don't believe he's mentioned the word a single time. So we certainly haven't seen it, and it doesn't appear to be a priority for the Biden admin right now. We've got Shift Technologies up about 2%, was down a little bit, also about 2.4% yesterday. We've actually got Nano Dimension and Xpeng up just about 1.8% each. Lemonade coming back 1.33% after falling yesterday, almost a full 5%. SoFi up about 1.29 right now. So you got some of the SPACs coming back around 1.2, 1.1% here. AMC up about 1%, slowly crawling back to 40 on AMC. Looking at you've even got Tesla. Shocker, Tesla's actually slightly green at 0.5% up, 0.59% up right now. On the flip side, you have Target slipping today. Target slipped a bit yesterday, down almost 3%, and today almost down 3% again. Certainly those retail sale numbers coming down don't really help. We've got let's see here. Wayfair also probably with retail dropping back under 300. It always seems to go back to 300. I feel like we've been saying that for like a year. It's just 200. It's weird. It's always back to 300. We'll see. But anyway, Hut 8 Mining down about 0.85%. Cloudflare down about 1%. No crazy moves today. Indices only slightly slipping today, so not so extreme. No, certainly not as extreme as the madness of yesterday. But we'll see. Let's take a listen. A brief moment here to Jim, and then let's see what headlines we can cover here. Let's take a listen here. Apple shares. Look at that, almost 150 here.
They are companies that have embraced China and are trying to hire as many people as possible. I don't think the Chinese government is totally irrational. I think the Chinese, right now, of course, they're trying to figure out whether to approve the MAX, which flew over there last week, falling down badly yesterday, made me think, what's going on? But you're looking at the three companies that have navigated China. And isn't it interesting? They are the ones that are at or near their highs.
That's an excellent point. Certainly, the Chinese companies themselves have not fared nearly as well. This comment by Xi about common prosperity, that the wealthy need to give more back to society, curbs on, quote, excessive incomes. The language is getting more spicy over there.
Those of us who are unfortunately old enough to remember when Joe and Lai...
I'm going to pull back. Interesting. Jim Cramer's argument here. The companies that have navigated China are at their all-time highs. I don't know. I mean, Apple is also, in some ways, a very much, in my opinion, a flight to safety style of stock. Look, if you want a tech, you wanted the safest potential tech with a whole lot of cash, a company that could weather any kind of market, it's honestly probably Apple. So yeah, I don't know about that one, Jim, but that could just be a coincidence. But who knows? It's something maybe worth paying attention to. All right, so let's go see what kind of headlines we've got. We got go to Bloomberg. We'll check elsewhere as well. So, escalating U.S.-China solar rift threatens Biden green goals. Oh, that's interesting. Solar rift. See, by the way, this is what I believe we need more of. Big old solar farms. Got plenty of land. This is how you have scale with green energy. It's actually quite expensive per panel to put panels on people's roofs when you compare to the cost of just throwing them on the ground. But anyway, The first big test of Biden's lofty goals may not be sweeping climate change that needs congressional approval, but managing the solar supply chain. Solar supply chain. So like big backlogs at Solar Edge or Enphase right now because of the chip shortage, right? Let's see, multiple companies, solar components, and components as well. So individual parts that go into making either inverters or panels or whatever. Let's see here. Multiple companies have now had solar components detained at U.S. ports in the aftermath of a Biden administration ban on equipment that may have used raw material originally from this particular company here, according to people familiar. Let's see here. The seizures come amid a new push by some U.S. solar manufacturers to extend tariffs to China-linked factories in Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand. Geez, this ongoing sort of trade battle and the spat between China and the United States kind of sucks for really just trying to have a smooth and efficient market. I mean, I just think about it like, I don't know, seizing the seizures come amid a new push by U.S. solar manufacturers to extend tariffs to China-linked factories. I don't know. It sometimes it almost comes across as like home basedness, selfishness. I don't know. I understand sometimes they're we should punish China for certain things, but like price dumping, right? But golly, it just seems like tariffs are always a blame for problems. Anyway, together, the developments threaten to disrupt the U.S. solar market, potentially jeopardizing Biden's goal of a carbon-free sector by 2035. The disruptive and harmful impact of new trade petitions and Customs and Border Protection enforcement cannot be understated. Solar Energy Administration. Disruption could be severe. Solar developers are now scrambling to prove incoming goods, some of which may have been ordered months before the Biden ban of Hoshin material. That's interesting. So you've got this Biden ban on. I'd love to look into this. Let's see what it is. Yet because because we have such transportation slowdowns. I wonder if these things are just coming in much later. So let's see here. U.S. bars imports of Chinese solar panels linked to forced labor in China's specific regions. Let's see. Okay. Forced labor. Okay. Targeting Uyghurs and other minorities. The order could have widespread impacts. Okay, when was this? This was, let's see when they posted this. June 24th. Almost the complete solar industry is affected by Hoshin, a research analyst in Germany. Let's see if they say silica is a raw material that is used to make components for solar panels, electronics, and other goods. This order was issued because the Customs Border Patrol has information reasonably indicating that Hoshin uses forced labor to produce its silica-based products. It estimates the U.S. has imported around 150 million in products made with Hoshin materials over the last 2.5 years. I mean, that's a lot, especially if it's specific like they say components. So maybe it's not like gross revenue wise such a big number, but it stops production of other things. That's interesting. Okay, let's see here. By banning Hoshin imports, let's see, stop short of targeting producers, linked to coercive labor programs, first shot across the bow. Okay. Yeah, will detain all imports of silicon-based products made by Hoshin as well as other goods. That's interesting. So the products show up in America, Customs just seizes them. It's like, all right, we're going to put your silicone over here and do nothing with it. All right. And it's interesting. Okay. So that is something to consider keeping an eye on. In some respects, there's never been a brighter moment for solar power in the U.S. Installations are booming, right? And they need more supply. And yet the industry's supply chain has been battered by higher costs, including modules and freight. Solar panels cost 40% more in the U.S. than in the rest of the world. Extending tariffs could lift prices further. Seizure costs. Canadian Solar said that 4 of its sample modules shipped from China to the U.S. were held last week by officials due to sourcing issues. Wow, Canadian Solar is being affected as well. I mean, these are some of the companies that we watch. It totally makes sense. Yeah. Significantly impacting U.S. solar development. Hey, you know what? It'll create more of a buy the dip opportunity, but it's good to know this, so that way if you see these component shortages, it's not just COVID, but it's also the trade war. So you've got this sort of double destruction on solar manufacturers right now, which is quite interesting to consider. So let's see how Canadian Solar, for example, is doing today. Canadian Solar actually up 1.12%, but still sitting at, what are we at here? 34.71. I think that was yesterday's price. But zooming out here for a moment, just take a look at the pain of Canadian Solar here. We're really sitting in this range here of November pricing, which is pretty incredible if you think about it. We're at whatever 35.53 right now. Sure, up 1%, but golly, certainly lower pricing than we've had here at prior points in the year here. But we've seen that a lot of the various different solar companies. Jump on over here to Enphase. Yeah, look at that. Enphase almost at this support line here. That's about 155, by the way. Okay, let's take a look at BTC and some of our cryptos here. So Bitcoin sitting at 45.3 right now, slightly below this channel. Fell as low as looks like 44.2 in the evening hours here yesterday. We've got, let's see. Okay, we've got the same here for Ethereum. Almost below 3K. It actually did drop below 3K. It looks like a few hours ago. About, what was that, about 10 hours ago? Yeah, sitting at about 29.51. Yeah, about 11 and a half hours ago. And Dogecoin sitting at about 29 cents. Okay, so today will be a very interesting open. We'll see how much red we have versus, it looks like we have a much more balanced market, even though the indices are down about, close to 0.2%, 0.2% to 0.25%. Let's take a look at them here. They're just, there we go. Dow just slipped a little bit more. Dow now down 1/3%. S&P down almost 1/4%. NASDAQ futures rotating a little bit more. So a little bit more of a little more slippage. At the same time, 10 years still sitting at 1.27. So popping back over. Let's go back to Bloomberg here. We've got about 2 minutes. All right. Yeah, crypto dip. I'm kidding. Yeah, Tesla. I don't get excited about the Tesla AI event. Sorry. Like, not stock wise. I'm not very optimistic about that. So it's like battery day. It's buy the rumors, sell the news. All right. So, Kathy Wood's strategy draws more skeptics as returns dwindle. Ouch. Rich investors are buying risky credit that banks won't touch. Like junk bonds. Private equity firms, including Blackstone, Carlyle, and Apollo, are offering wealthy products to invest in loans to mid-sized companies. Oh, that's interesting. Are offering wealthy products. Okay. I feel like there should be a comma there. Are offering the wealthy. Are offering the wealthy, comma, products. I don't know. It feels so weird reading it without some kind of pause there. They're offering wealthy people products. There you go. All right. How to avoid getting burned by Wall Street's hottest money machine. Oh my gosh, SPACs. Just stay away right now. Holy moly. SPACs are just, not the market time. Not the time for those. Target beats on sales, but growth slowdown raises questions. Let's see, we got about 20 seconds here. Same store sales rose 8.9%, beating the consensus. Meanwhile, profit margins tightened and e-commerce revenue rose by 10% after nearly tripling a year ago. All right, let's go ahead and get that bell.
Palantir bought $50 million worth of gold.
Yes.
Also, I think one of the least appreciated headlines of the week was Walmart hiring a cryptocurrency expert.
Thank you. I thought that was incredible because I think what's going to happen is people are going to demand, and it's really been Ethereum. People are going to demand that it's accepted. You don't want to turn down sales. Now, NVIDIA reports tonight.
I'll see it.
NVIDIA has not, they make the most powerful cards, which have been used
See what
by
happens.
miners. They're only giving the miners the
All
ones
right,
that
here we
aren't
go.
acceptable for gamers.
Okay, that's about, that's 80% red. That's still pretty red.
It's not how NVIDIA makes its money.
Yeah,
Those who are
I'd say
trying to
80%
trade
red.
off Ethereum and this and trading NVIDIA.
80% red again. Gee whiz. Okay, well, that's the second day in a row. Let's see what happens here. So, so Tilray's up. Let's see that cannabis ETF disappeared again. Let's go look at some of our losers here. Whirlpool, nice slip and slide here. So Whirlpool dropping here nicely at the open. Probably this retail sales decline also making folks think, well, if retail sales are going down, it's not going to be people aren't going to be buying new washers and dryers. You've got where did Whirlpool just disappeared on us. Hut 8 mining down 1.5%. We have here's Target. Target actually tried recovering here going into the start of the day. Target's been doing phenomenally well, but now new concerns again of sales potentially starting to slip or inflect. Target CFO just said they're not having trouble filling job opportunities. Oh, that's good. I feel like that's the first time I've actually seen a CFO come out and say we're able to fill our jobs. It's been such a bizarro market, but interesting. So you got 3D printing here, and Upstart doing well at the moment. Through DM, not 3M, not to be confused with 3M. DM up 4.5%. Upstart up 5.1%. Arcimoto recovering about that 3%. Lowe's coming right back with 4%. I mean, that's what we shaved off yesterday. And it's right back today. You've got AMC sitting around a couple percent. Let's see here. Dow down about 0.36. S&P down about 0.26 at the open here. We've got SoFi sitting at 1.82. Tesla actually up 1.12. So you've got some decent recovery here, at least at some stocks. Etsy's up a little bit. About 0.8% on Enphase. And the down here is not so heavy. It really looks like right now it's consolidating around potentially recovery. Look at this. Target, which is certainly more of a recovery stock than like an online retailer. You've got Spirit Airlines, Cheesecake, Darden, Simon Property Group. Let's see what else we have here. Macy's. These guys all down about 0.7 to 1%. Again, Whirlpool with sales, but Whirlpool now recovering quite nicely, not down like what we had here. All right, so certainly a lower opening, but nothing devastating here like what we had yesterday. Yesterday was a lot more painful, although DD is giving up whatever gains it had yesterday, now down about 3%. So Target shares fell 2.4% in pre-market. Pandemic fueled spending has been very good to Target. These are the same store sales comps. And I'm really worried that next year, numbers like this are going to be negative because we're going to be comparing to this insane 2021. And it just makes it very likely that you could have this negative movement here in pricing. Target has arguably been the biggest winner among retail traders during the pandemic. Stock surging more than 40% this year, nearly as much as last year as demand soared for groceries, home goods, and more. With a very strong core business and run of success, the key challenge for Target is to continue generating strong revenue. Right, of course. Rising COVID-19 cases put new pressure on consumer confidence. Store visits, traffic, including visits to stores, rose 13% in the quarter. That's good. 95% of sales were fulfilled by stores. Nice. They I remember last year at sort of the beginning of this rotation to online sales, they were really having this profit margin issue where they every time they had a product, they'd have an employee essentially stock the shelves, and then when an order would come in, they'd have an employee unpackage the shelves, and it's kind of like this double work almost that a company like Amazon doesn't have to do. But hey, they've started really improving their margin, so good for them. Oh, and they authorized share buybacks. Of course they did. Companies have so much money right now. Why not? Why not just buy your shares back? It's incredible. All right. Let's see here. Xi Jinping crackdowns look to whip China's lying flat youth into shape. What's a lying flat youth? Beijing puts restrictions on online gaming, tutoring, and karaoke. Okay. Piecing together Xi Jinping's recent speeches and a barrage of new regulations, one savvy internet user this month created a satirical image of what passes for ideal youth in China. Okay. A socialist successor does not attend after-school tutoring, does not play video games, does not chase celebrities. Got it. Okay. All right. It's interesting. I'm gonna back off this article though. It's yeah. There's a lot to learn about China, but I don't know. We have to cover right now all of that. So what else here? So we talked stocks. Let's see here. COVID fear is back in markets and it's global. Oh, let's see if we got COVID cases. COVID cases. Let's see. What did we have yesterday? I'm starting to get in the habit again of doing this every single day. Oh, that's a lot better. Look at that. That's good. This right here was a concerning trend. Lying flat means people are tired of the system and just try wasting away. That's interesting. Being lazy. Yeah, lying flat. Okay. Maybe that's just like a translation. That's very interesting. So thank you for that. Anywho, this is good. This is a good sort of inflection right here, right? I mean, this was a very concerning case read, way higher than the 178 we had last Monday, but last Tuesday. So we're always a day behind. And then last Wednesday we had 162. Right now we're at 144. It's very interesting. Okay. Okay. Let's see. U.S. wealth gap rises with Jackson Hole coming up. Right. That's next week. You have to listen to J-Pow. We do get J-Pow minutes today. Federal Reserve minutes. Palantir buys gold bars as a hedge against a black swan event. Black swan event. I mean, I heard they bought gold. And I thought it may have just been buying the dip, but the company spent $50.7 million on 100-ounce gold bars, preparing for a black swan event. Wow. And inviting customers to pay for its analysis in gold. What? Oh, yes, please. Ship us your gold. We don't want your fiat. Just send us your gold. Yeah, we'll just have we'll send you a pre-packaged envelope for you to deposit your millions of dollars worth of gold bars into. Oh my gosh. It's the problem about gold. It's expensive. You can't transfer it on the blockchain. Very interesting. Okay. Palantir previously said it would accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. No one has said yet in either Bitcoin or gold, or no one has paid yet in either Bitcoin or gold. Okay. Gold purchases. The gold purchase was buried in a securities filing. Yeah. But where did we hear about this Black Swan event? That's where I want to see more commentary on this. We didn't actually see that, did we? Companies able to take physical possession at any time with reasonable notice. Secure location in the Northeast. This is so weird. Okay. Well then. was not expecting it to be for a Black Swan event. I really thought it was just like gold by the dipping. What is gold right now? Gold. I don't know, ounce price. Yeah, 1788. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we have here. No way. Victim of major DeFi cyber attack offers its hacker a job. This is so classic. You do see this happen. It's oftentimes the government that does this sort of stuff. But it's also kind of hilarious. So this was the Poly network. So let's take a look at this. The Poly network is courting its attacker as it tries to recoup money. Mr. White Hat says the breach was hacking for good. A week after a hacker stole 610 million. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, hacking for good. 610 million from Poly network, and what was likely the biggest heist in history of DeFi. The victim has offered its attacker a job. The hacker, well, why would they have to offer him a job? That the hacker's already the CEO. Oh, let's see here. Of course, we don't know that, but there's some rumors that the hacker was an insider. It'd actually be kind of an interesting sort of thing. It's like, oh, the hacker ended up accepting a job, or was he working there the whole time? The hacker claimed the attack against the Poly Network platform, which lets users swap tokens, was an act of hacking for good to save the project. The hacker has since promised to return the money and has so far delivered about half of it. Wow. Poly Network has responded by lavishing praise on the hacker, who it dubbed Mr. White Hat, a term used to describe ethical hackers who find vulnerabilities in computer networks and alert companies and organizations to fix them. Offered the job as Chief Security Advisor. The advisor of the hacker isn't known yet, or the identity of the hacker is not known yet. We extend our thanks and encourage Mr. White Hat to continue contributing to security advancement in blockchain. Wow. In the meantime, Poly Network is still struggling to get all of its clients' money back. Returning about half of the network's assets, the hacker deposited the rest, around 235 million, into a joint account that is protected by 2 keys needed to unlock the funds. One of the keys was given to Poly Network. The hacker has kept the other. Ooh. That's very interesting. The hacker's behavior has stumped experts who've been trying to trace the funds since they were initially stolen. Wow. That's incredible. Okay. That's also very bizarre, but and unexpected. So, I mean, could you imagine having just all of a sudden, let's just say, just for comparison's sake, you wake up one morning and you've been doinking around with computer programming, for a decade now. You're 28 or whatever, or maybe you're 24, who knows, right? Maybe you've been programming since 14 or younger. And all of a sudden you wake up and you have $610 million in your bank account and nobody can take it from you. Now, maybe there's some risk of using it, but right now you wake up with $610 million in your bank account. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. I can't say that the majority of people's first thought would be, let me figure out how I could return this. It's incredible. So, which also sort of raises the eyebrows of, was it an insider? I don't know. But anyway, look at Lowe's taking off here. Lowe's taking off 7.58%. That's somewhat unexpected, given yesterday's drop and sort of fall in pricing here. So somewhat unexpected. Desktop Metal moving 5.2% here. Hut 8 Mining 2.3. Beach Bonnie's up 2.54. Bumble, Upstart, these all moving decently here. A few percent here. SoFi's coming up 1.6. Tesla about 1. It's really just a slight reversal in the madness of yesterday, with the indices still suffering slightly, mostly as we see recovery stocks just way down right now. It appears to be. Let's go over here. We can go to sort of sector. We're taking a peek at sectors here, rather. So This is just, for example, hot industries. We've got Shopify sitting around that 14 level, CRM, Salesforce sitting at 249. Kind of feels like it's been trading sideways for a while. Alibaba down again, 1/3%. Let's see here. All right, what about, we haven't done this in a while. Looking at our top gainers and losers. It's usually these smaller companies, but let's see if there are any of these that we recognize on the top gainers. We've got, no, these are all smaller name companies I cannot recognize. Standard Lithium, we've briefly talked about before. All right, excuse me. Top losers here. Same thing. Not a lot of recognized names, at least that I can see. So, yeah, that really leaves us with just a slightly slipping market, but a very mixed market. Here, like Roblox, for example, back over 80. It's been a while since we've really gone to the lows of IPO channels here. And we did have a little bit of a break below the support line here of 76.29 yesterday. By what did we get down to yesterday? Looks like intraday we got down to about 74. Did close closer to about 77, and is up a couple percent right now. SoFi is also moving that couple of percent. And yeah, let's see here. Worth mentioning that if you have not yet, consider getting yourself a free stock with Public. Public lets you buy and sell in a social manner if you desire to, and Public does not buy or sell your data. It's a good trading platform. You can buy or sell stocks. So go to metkevin.com/public to get totally free stock. The link is also down below, metkevin.com/public. Totally free stock. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the journal here. So there's not a lot of incredibly exciting movement happening that I could see, at least in in the stocks that we're tracking right now. Public gave you a free Apple stock. Are you serious? That's amazing. I know sometimes they give slices of stocks, and yeah, you're right. The live stream notification's a little late today. I'll have to see how we can speed that up. But yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, congratulations. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's see. We have I can't believe they gave you Apple. Congratulations. So that's yeah, that's nice. That's a great stock. Good for you. Yeah, fingers crossed everybody else gets lucky like that too. That's great. You could get fractional shares of larger companies as well. Somebody got, I think it was like $20 in Tesla or something like that, which that's pretty cool. All right, so what else do we have here? Officials in Germany hit by Havana syndrome. Never heard of that. What the heck is that? Havana syndrome. Set of medical conditions reported by U.S. and Canadian embassy staff in Cuba. Okay. Unspecified attacks causing the symptoms. Okay. Found evidence that diplomats experienced some form of brain injury. Considered microwave weapons to be a main subject for the phenomenon. What? Microwave weapons? Specifically, directed pulse radio frequency energy appears to be the most plausible mechanism explaining these cases. What? Press looking into Russian military responsibility. Okay. That's quite odd. U.S. officials in Germany hit by Havana syndrome. That is so weird. Okay. Wow. That is very incredible. It is such a weird time, and that is so scary to think about that. Somebody points a microwave at you. I mean, basically, obviously, something much more powerful if that is the cause. But at least 20 American officials in Austria have reported the mysterious symptoms. the largest number since Cuba. Wow. That is bizarre. Oh, sorry. It's a little bit of a distraction from the market, but it is certainly an eyeball grabber. All right, so let's see what else we have here. BuzzFeed clashed with NBC Universal as it pursued its SPAC deal. Yeah, I don't know. Staying away from everything SPAC. Unless you want to sell puts. Roblox. Facebook see the metaverse as key to the internet's next phase. The virtual world. Who saw Free Guy? That's a great way, I think, to picture the metaverse. Free Guy was great movie. I couldn't recommend it more. All right, let's see here. U.S. senators urge FTC probe of Tesla's autopilot claims. Usually the quotes, the lines that we get from these folks are just crazy. But let's see what we have here. Tesla, here's the complaint. Tesla and Musk repeated overstatements of their vehicle's capabilities, despite clear and frequent warnings, demonstrate a deeply concerning disregard for the safety of those on the road. I don't know about that. I think Elon's been pretty clear that you're supposed to pay attention while you're driving. I don't know. It's very odd. But crashing into stopped cars is also not good. Maybe that's going to be maybe Microvision will get its buyout one of these days. Probably not. Elon's very stubborn. But all right. Let's see here. We saw this on retail sales. Delta variant threatens small businesses. Yeah, I think Delta is going to be something that still weighs on recovery stocks. And we are seeing that a little bit right now. I mean, quite frankly, let's jump in over here. Yeah, I mean, look at these spark lines. All of these spark lines here are down right now. Every single one of them. Dave & Buster's now down 3%. Let's go to the minute chart here for a moment. Yeah, look at this. A decay of recovery stocks. Down 0.32%. Oh. Let's go to the day charts on these. Yeah, look at that. Dave & Buster's here, for example, back to $32. I mean, it's certainly a far cry from the $10 or $11 where the thing had been sitting, but golly. Okay. So then we have Macy's, Redfin down 2.5 again. Yeah, now it's starting to get ridiculous. Cheesecake Factory down 2%. Yeah, we're creating, I feel like, soon here opportunities. But wow, Lordstown Motors down another 4%. I mean, this thing it's literally just approaching bankruptcy. It's like those math class problems where it's just the numbers like approaching zero, and it just gets to the point where it's like it's so close to zero, even though it's not zero, we're just going to call it zero. It's almost that penny stock territory at $5. So let's see here. GameStop down 3 and a bit. Dave & Buster's, to Macy's, and Macy's usually does the best of the recovery. See, if you go on the day chart, Macy's has performed way better on some of these recoveries, or within the recovery sector. All right, Joel here. I'm thinking 500 for AMC, really, on a short squeeze. All right. All right, let's see here. So we see the recovery pain. Virgin Galactic also continuing to suffer here at $24. Also, Sparkline's down. SunPower, so we've got SunPower down, Wayfair down, Peloton's down today. You do have, here's Pinterest down again, sitting at 55 right now. And looking at the upside here, Tesla's actually doing well. It's up 2.33%. It's certainly a far cry from lows, up 8.5 today, but wow. Tesla recovering. NIO coming up 1%. NIO sitting at 38.5. Incredible. And yeah, incredibly low. Canadian solar went positive, about 0.5%. All right, so let's go back. All right, Walgreens could bring 122 apps to the cloud. Nice. Housing starts slumped more than expected. Cargo ships are again idling off jammed SoCal ports. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, let's go over to let's go to like econ. And you know what? I'll also let me take a look at the headlines in the term here. Give me a sec. Let's get in here. Let's see what they're saying. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so we have mid-month stock pressure and hawkish Fed minutes likely today. Stocks could remain under pressure today, and the Fed minutes from the July meeting might sound unduly hawkish. That's true. You know, the Fed meeting minutes could come across as like, that's it, we're tapering sooner than expected. I feel like the market's a little bit softened since then. Semiconductor stocks may find relief elusive with high bar. Yeah. All right, let's see. Factor diversification in stocks is working for much of the past year. Even after risk appetite recovered, correlations across equity factors have been elevated. Value. Now, value is up over the past month, but so is quality, a more defensive factor. Momentum has rebalanced to look more like value this year. Also up, though. Yeah, I mean, we have been on this crazy uptrend, with the exception of the last couple of days here. Tencent's slowing gaming revenue is a telltale sign for Chinese tech. On the surface, Tencent Q2 did as expected, but slowing in its online gaming growth highlights the challenges the company and other Chinese tech giants face ahead of Beijing's clampdowns. Yeah, this is why I'm a little nervous just about the gaming industry and gaming peripherals, even like a Corsair, because, you know, I think we had our year of video games. President Ghani of Afghanistan went to the UAE. Everybody was kind of wondering where he went. He went to the United Arab Emirates. I wonder if he flew Emirates. All right. So let's go back here. Yeah, let's take a brief look at AMC. All right. So AMC today, a little drop here. Yeah, it's had a brief run and then sort of a straight breakthrough this support line, almost like it wasn't even here, almost like it didn't even exist. Yikes! Yeah. All right. Let's see here. They're offering college scholarships for esports. Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? I've thank you for bringing that up again. But look, I think that's great for esports in general. But that doesn't mean that I think everybody's going to be gaming as much as they were last year. Yeah, lockdowns, obviously. What else are you going to do when you're in lockdowns? Play World of Warcraft. Tesla doing very well here, 2.4%. Nice moves. SoFi, very nice. Hut 8 mining, couple percent. Not much of a big change here today. It's certainly not as violent as yesterday. Much more relaxed. 23andMe had a run yesterday, so it's rotating down a bit today. AMC, GameStop down just slightly. And let's see. Let's go to The Economist. No. Delta Dilemma. Huh. Okay. Wow. Yeah, even the news has been on commercial for a longer period. It's fine. Let's see if Fox is around. No. They're just all on commercial. They've been on commercial for a while. All right. We can go to the Financial Times. Is Hood ripping? Somebody says. Let's see if there's any entertainment at the hood. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Just all of a sudden. Nice move here. So, what is this? Up about, 6.3%, just out of nowhere. Got a nice volume pump here. Let's see if that continues. Does look like volume's starting to slow a little bit, though. All right. Well, let's see. Financial Times. We've got, let's see, rating agencies caution on corporate debt after U.S. borrowing frenzy. All right. We've got a boom in U.S. corporate borrowing has laid the foundation for a wave of defaults at financially risky companies, according to leading debt rating agencies. Yeah, that's not good. Sales of low-grade, speculative-grade debt have already reached $650 billion this year, putting them on track to surpass all-time borrowing records with more than 4 months left to go in 2021. It's interesting. People are just yield-starved. Like, oh, the market can't fall. There's no way they could fall. We'll just buy risky stuff.
Target down, even though they've announced a $15 billion stock buyback program. They're down just 1.5%. Got that. The cryptos, all of them, well, not all of them, the big one, the majors, that will be Bitcoin at 45,200, up a little. Ethereum at just over $3,000 a coin, also up a little. There you have it. Now this. Does this remind you of the desperate flight from Saigon, 1975? Or does it remind you of the hostage taking in Tehran, 1979?
Pull off. Jump on over here.
Another record. The key number to watch right there, 151.68. As you can see, shares are down fractionally. In the meantime, the other big movers this morning, the retailers reporting results as well. It's a big week for those numbers. We've got new numbers out from Lowe's, Target, and TJX just this morning. Courtney Reagan is here to break it all down for us. Hey, Court.
Hi, good morning, Morgan. So Target, Lowe's, TJX, all beating analyst expectations on both the top and the bottom lines. While comparable sales aren't as eye-popping as the comparable pandemic quarter last year, it still shows further proof that the U.S. consumer remains quite strong. So take a look here at Target's sales. Comparable sales grew 8.9%. Digital sales grew 10%. In line with expectations here, stronger growth than Walmart on both those metrics, but well below last year's pandemic-fueled quarter, to be sure. Lowe's U.S. comparable sales fell 2.2%. Digital sales grew 7%. It's actually the first decline in comps in 8 years for Lowe's, but also better than had been expected for the retailer. In the last 21 quarters, it's worth pointing out that Home Depot's U.S. comparable sales outperformed Lowe's 14 times. But Lowe's has beaten Home Depot more recently, with U.S. comp sales higher for Lowe's than Home Depot in 6 of the last quarters, but not this time, not this quarter. Home Depot came out on top. TJX giving only total comparable sales on a 2-year basis up 20%. Now, both Target and Lowe's are raising full year outlooks, while TJX says so far, third quarter sales are strong, very strong. But due to uncertainty, it's not giving any guidance. Like Walmart, Target saw good store traffic and strength in apparel. And similar to Home Depot, Lowe's saw improvement in the pro shopper. I was able to speak to Lowe's CEO Marvin Ellison before the earnings call by phone, and he said, quote, "We know there are uncertain times, but we are extremely optimistic on the long-term outlook for home improvement, the industry. We believe our consumer will continue to invest in their home." He said further that inflation is responsible for some of the sales increase, about 400 basis points. Home Depot
4%.
had said it was responsible for about 420 basis points. So something we need to continue to watch as we move forward, she tried to say. Back over to you guys.
Courtney Reagan, thank you. We're going to turn to the broader markets now.
Yeah, well, I can do that too. So we're gonna turn to Webull. Yeah, here's that slow down on that hood run here. So it really looked like you just had some larger investor throwing some money in here with quite a few share purchases. And now you see a little bit of that softening right now. So rotation down here. All these spark lines mostly still continuing to slip. DD still relatively rotating to the downside. Poshmark, Plug. We've got GameStop, Wayfair. Very good. Redfin. All just still rotating down on the day chart. Or I'm sorry, on the minute chart. Look at that. It's just straight down right now for quite a few of these. Even Pinterest. Just straight down. Yikes. That's intense. All right, what do we got over here? Lowe's almost up 10% after that CNBC pitch. Tesla about 2.5. Nice little recovery here. So good little test. I mean, it's interesting to see. We hit some lower levels yesterday. It's interesting to see some of these stocks bounce off of those lower levels and sort of recover a bit today, but then others not. SoFi coming up about 1%, but then others just continuing their fall. Upstart, though, on this incredible rampage, now over $209. Gee whiz. Thought it was expensive at 130 or 120. Remember when it was trading between that range, and it wasn't that long ago. So pretty incredible. All right. So let's see here. Okay, let's go to the top of financial again. Lowe's is great. Yeah. All right. So what about here? What do we at here? Let's see here. Cyberleaks, COVID, massive bond purchases are ill-suited for the economy. Okay. Tencent we talked about. Yeah. Okay. Big tech wants its workers back. Very slow news here. Let's try here. CNBC. No. Very little news. Very little. Just basically everyone's waiting for the minutes there from JPOW. The indices, they're almost flat though. Look at this. You have the Dow Jones was down about 1/3%. It's sitting at 0.08. S&P at 0.02 and NASDAQ 0.01. All three of these were much more red at the open. We might have a rotation back to where these actually go green again. Whew. That's incredible. Wow. All right, folks. Well, that was this is an interesting market open. So the slip is certainly not as intense as previously, as we previously had closer to the open. NASDAQ just went positive. All right. So with that said, I'm going to jump on over to the course member live stream. I'll make another cup of coffee and we'll jump on over to the course member live stream. Thanks for the $5 there. I don't know anything about AQST, sadly. But yeah, folks, thank you so much for being here. I will circle back later with some more videos. But otherwise, we're kind of on standby to see what the heck is news. So thanks again for being here. Make sure to get your free stock with Public. Link down below. Check out the courses link down below. And yeah, go to mettkevin.com/public. Get your stock.